Hello everybody, welcome to Deluxe Collectibles, and today we're going to be doing my reaction and review for LEGO Ninjago Seabound Episode 2, The Call of the Deep. Now, if you would like to check out my full reaction to this episode, you can be sure to go down below to the top of the description of the video where you will find a link leading you over to Google Photos, where you'll be able to view my full uncut reaction to the episode, and then once you're done watching that, or if you've already seen the episode, then you can tune into this video where you'll be able to hear my full spoiler review of the episode, which is what we're going to get into now. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so we're going to start this review by going over the start of the episode here, and at the beginning of it, basically, we get to see Maya kind of cleaning up after Nia. It seems like Nia has fallen into a bit of a rut here after kind of having her powers being disrupted here, so Maya's kind of cleaning up after her and trying to get her spirits back up. She tries to prepare her meal as well, but it's not something that really Nia is too interested in. It's kind of like seaweed and then like some vegetarian pancakes it kind of looks like, so not something too appetizing for her specifically, but I thought it was kind of a funny sort of opening sequence here just to kind of show the dynamic between Maya and Nia at this point, because I'm sure we're going to get to see that evolve throughout this season and they're going to become closer with each other, so I'm really excited to see that sort of relationship evolve between both characters. So it was a lot of fun to kind of see the beginning of that in this episode, so I like that quite a bit. Then they basically go out to the monastery where they go to train a bit, and it's kind of funny because Maya's just kind of critiquing everything that Nia's doing, and even though of course we kind of know that this probably isn't the fault of Nia and that something else is behind this, but still Maya is kind of like, hey, you know what, none of this ever really happened to me. I was a pretty perfect master of water, but hey, you know, if you're having some trouble here, we're gonna try to figure it out the best we can. And then Nia gets pretty annoyed with her mother, splashes a bunch of water all over herself, and then she goes to Master Wu to try to get some advice, and Misako as well, and she's kind of asking if they found anything else out about what could be happening here and what she could possibly do to fix it, and they don't really give her too much information, but they give her some advice to maybe ask Kai and kind of see his perspective on it as well, and with his mother as well. And Nia goes to him and we get to see Kai and Rei having some father-son bonding time, and they're just playing a video game, of course, going back to that typical start of the season Ninjago where the ninja are just kind of goofing off, and we get to see a little bit of this here. It fits a little bit more though because of course Rei's just over, so they're just kind of, it's almost like a mini vacation, I suppose you could say. So that was kind of fun to see them just having a good time, and you get to see Maya come in as well, give them some bacon sandwiches and with some real bacon as well, so just kind of showing the contrast there. Honestly, I found that scene a little bit weird. I didn't know how they wanted us to really feel. Like, do they want us to think like Maya's kind of being a little bit harsh on Nia, and then like she's being really like lax with Kai? So I thought that was just a little bit weird, and I don't really know if there's much of an explanation for that other than it just being a bit of a joke in the contrast between how she treats the two of them. So I thought that was kind of funny. Kai, very childish in the scene as well, but that's kind of how most of the ninja are at certain points in the season. Usually at the start of each season, they're just kind of back in their old selves where they don't really have any responsibilities, or at least don't recognize all of their responsibilities per se. And then we get to see Nia go to kind of find out what's going on with Lloyd and Cole, and also trying to ask where Zane and Pixel are, and they actually admit that they were sent out on a water mission. So of course this is just another blow to Nia's ego here, that they didn't even consult her on going on a water-based mission, so that just kind of puts her down even further. And then we get to cut to what I would say is the main portion of the episode here, where we get to see Zane and Pixel going out to kind of investigate what's going on in this water-based rescue here, and we get to see that there seems to be this like kraken sort of beast or giant octopus. I wouldn't really know what to call it, but they basically wind up having to go up against this thing, and it seems to be aggravated for one sole reason of this energy pulse that is coming out, and of course that was what was disrupting Nia's powers. So we get to see Zane and Pixel going up against this thing. Pixel gets pulled under the water, has to try to escape as well. Zane's trying to save her with a grapple hook, but nothing really seems to be working. But luckily, Pixel is able to get her electronics back online, because that's another thing with the energy pulse. It doesn't only affect like water and sea creatures, but it also seems to affect electronics as well. So she gets pulled down there, but luckily she is able to come back up, get back to Zane, and then they kind of realize that something else seems to be going on here, and that they need to warn the other ninja of what the possibility is of here, kind of with this energy pulse. So that's where they head back, and then we cut back to the ninja at the monastery, where now we can kind of see how this energy pulse winds up affecting all of them. We can see that Nia'S getting into the hot tub, and then it just winds up throwing all of the water out of it. We can see Lloyd trying to do some of the dishes, once again just tossing the water everywhere. Jay cleaning the toilet, of course, probably getting the worst of it there with toilet water just splashing all over him. So I thought those were all pretty funny moments there, of course, just seeing kind of the effects of this energy pulse. And then eventually, actually I kind of did this a little bit out of order, but then basically that's when Zane is able to kind of help Pixel, and Pixel is able to get out of the water. She's able to restore power and escape from there, and then they wind up going back to the monastery, and that's when Nia comes in, and she's apologizing for all of the trouble that she's caused, especially after that hot tub accident there, and then everything else that's happening. But then that's when Zane and Pixel show up, and Pixel's like, yeah, no, I don't think it's your fault, Nia. We think that something else is going on here, and we've detected some sort of unknown energy pulse from under the ocean. And that's when Master Wu basically suggests that, well, it looks like you guys are going to have to go into the ocean and figure out what's going on here, and they're going to have to take the Hydro Bounty. So I'm really excited to get a look at the Hydro Bounty. It's going to be like our first official look at the Hydro Bounty in the next episode, so I'm very excited for that, and I think that it kind of leaves us with a really cool tease here to just kind of now get to see them go into the ocean. So I'm really excited for that, and I'm very just curious to see what they have in store for the next episode. I'm assuming Maya is going to tag along as well, so very excited for that. And I thought that this was a pretty good episode. Honestly, it didn't have like the most going on, I suppose. I mean, the sequence with Zane and Pixel was pretty good, but I never really felt like they were in any real danger. That's kind of the thing with Ninjago. Whenever they try to do something like that, like Pixel's submerged under the ocean there, she could like wind up drowning, or something could wind up happening, but I really never feel like they're ever in any real danger, so there wasn't really too many stakes in that sort of situation. But it was, of course, an integral part of the episode, because they had to find out about that energy pulse, so it makes sense. And then I liked Maya's character, but it was kind of weird, the treatment of how she treated Nia in comparison to Kai. I'm not really sure why she did that, other than it being just for a comedic moment within the episode, and the contrast of how she gives Kai real bacon and then Nia just seaweed. So I'm not too sure about that, but I'm really interested to see more development between Nia and Maya, kind of that relationship, and then get to see the other ninjas' involvement as well within the season. I just want to get into the ocean, start to meet some of these new characters, the Merlopians, Prince Kalmar, all of those. So I'm really eager to find out what's going to happen in the next episode, so I'm looking forward to that quite a bit. But yeah, I would say overall it was a pretty decent episode, not like my favorite, but I think it was still well done and enjoyable nonetheless. But now I want to hear all of your thoughts on the episode down below in the comment section. Be sure to let me know. Also, if you did enjoy this reaction and review, be sure to leave a like. Also, subscribe as well if you would like to check out some of my other content. That would be highly appreciated, and I will be doing reactions and reviews for every episode of Seabound, so stay tuned for those as well. And just thanks so much for watching. I will see you all next time, and always remember, keep on collecting.